Pickacard. How's your absence felt? Here are your options, and I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Crystal with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, how has your absence felt? They're haunted by the memory of you. You kept them mentally stimulated, you're very complicated, you're filled with different sets of rules, different manners of being, different ideas. You, pile number 1, could be eccentric, eclectic, and them, they, in fact, are actually boring. So, if this sounds like you, sounds interesting, join me for your reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful, or at the very least, something that is encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, I am so grateful to have you. Thank you so very much for your love and your support. Pile number 1, how has your absence felt? You have nature and you have perception. Wow. Look at all the red in there. So first off, I'm definitely going to say I'm looking at the comedy and used to be like comedy and tragedy, you know, the mass of the theater. So it could be their perception of you. First of all, your absence has definitely felt like you have led many facets or many traits to this person or these people. And I definitely feel like you have been like all things to all men in this case. So with the many faces right here, I feel like you were able to like be happy, to make them happy, go along in order to get along, that sort of a thing. And that you put on a great performance. But the fact that there has been maybe a separation right now or an absence, whether this is a physical absence, mental, emotional, spiritual, or all the above, I definitely feel like you have become more you than you ever have before. I know I said that in another video, but you're embodying your whole self. No longer are you changing in order to suit other people. And your absence is felt because now there is a lack of support. There is a lack of foundational, I guess, strength. I feel like it's almost like the floor got ripped out from under people. And listen, this is like no shade on anyone, but I definitely feel like maybe perhaps inadvertently, like you didn't really set out to coddle somebody, but now the real world is hitting them hard, okay? No one's going to stand by and coddle nobody, right? And I feel like, I mean, one pillar is almost like off the frame entirely, and the other one is within view. And I feel like what transpired now is that they have to rely upon their own resources, their own wit. I heard their own shame. I don't know what that has to do with anything just yet. Maybe we'll get more answers in a bit here. But I definitely feel like there has been a return to you, to nature. Perhaps you went on a trip to where it's more naturesque. It's not even a word, but here we are. And I think that you're growing and thriving is the point. And the point is that you've dropped a lot of mass. And the point also is, pile number 1, that your absence is felt because now you are no longer towing the line. Now, I feel like for some of you guys, this has to do with somebody with narcissistic tendencies, okay? It could be a multitude of people. It could be a family that wanted you to toe the line. This is our family and this is how things go and everything is great and we put our best foot forward. We have all these parties and, you know, it's the stuff that you would show to, I'm all Pinterest, but Instagram, you know, it'd be like Instagram worthy stories. And while these stories are great, I feel like you kind of, you know, roll with the punches. Next costume change. Oh, I'm supposed to be the adoring, you know, husband, adoring daughter, adoring lover, the incredibly supportive spouse, whatever this is, right? And then you would play that role. And it's not that you didn't feel those things. It would be like you play them to almost like to your own demise, almost like you neglected your own feelings in the matter, your own narrative, your own story. It was like you were on a stage playing in order to support somebody else's script, basically. And I feel like you've cut off all of that behavior, those ties, those ideas. And now you're living for self. You are living in order to really grow, to thrive, to maybe even experience you, who you are for the very first time. When we're on stage, right? Metaphorically, maybe even for real, there's a lot to be done. I mean, there's like costume changes and what do I wear? And does this outfit go? And is this makeup appropriate? I mean, there's a lot of like bobbing and weaving and ebb and flow and trying to make sure that you have the same or the right mask for the correct stage set. And I feel like this is no longer true. And it was difficult maybe perhaps to ground you. I mean, she's got like little tiny slippers, like ballerina slippers in order to make this all happen, right? And I feel like it took a lot of your effort, a lot of your strength, a lot of your wisdom. It took a lot of dedication, tenacity. But I feel like how your absences felt is that once you realize that this stage no longer is for you, that the script no longer fit you, that you wanted to move on to different troupe, for example. Maybe somebody does here, work on Broadway or is in the entertainment business. I don't know, whatever capacity. That could be a multitude of things. But maybe once perhaps you realize that this is not the stage for you, that this isn't something that you want to participate in any longer, that you were done playing, okay, the doting parent, the doting person, or the supportive role, or the go-to person that you're going to financially support them, or that you were, supporting their narrative, like, yes, they're always sick, and no, well, they can't, obtain this and that, and making excuses, and that's how we enable other people. So whatever huge hole that you had laid a carpet over or participated in, and this is again not a blame game, but I feel like you have like rolled up that carpet, allowed people to fall in, allowed whatever happened to happen, and you just said, I'm done, So it could be that you literally packed up your stuff and relocated, and her absences fell is a little bit of a shock. It's almost like now they're scrambling, and it's like, well, what do you mean there was like a hole on stage the whole time and the actors all avoided stepping on there because they knew that carpet would just give, and then they would just fall down a deep, dark tunnel. At any point in time, we had no idea, no clue. Maybe a chair was set over it and people like worked around that on top of the stage or whatever. And it's like, well, what do you mean that, we always thought it was like this? So I feel like you have revealed, you removed your illusions. Your level of participation is gone, okay? Whether you like wanted to participate or not, whether you wanted to make excuses or not, this includes people that, spouses, friends, lovers, brothers, whatever, that you would make excuses for. For example, if they were, heavily into rugs, right? I can't use the real word because I'll get flagged. Or they were heavy drinkers or users of sorts, or they had some kind of a thing where they could not perform the next day for work. And you were like, maybe going around and trying to call their job or let them know, hey, they're sick or whatever. And then you would try to damage control. I feel like there's a lot of damage control that you were doing in this life for these people or this person, okay? And I feel like your absence is felt because there's no longer damage control. If people fall down through the rug into the hole, that is a them problem, not a you problem. And I feel like maybe perhaps you didn't even, you know how when all the actors like leave the stage and oh gosh, I have so much energy in my crown chakra, and then you take a bow. It's like when you went back on stage to take a bow, or when the troupe did, you were the one that didn't show up. It's like everybody else is taking a bow. They're like, wait a minute, where's the main character? Where's the main? And you did not show up. And you're like, okay, well, when I said I was done, I was done. And regardless of who it hurts, you, me, them, they, who, where, why, it doesn't make a difference. It's going to just, I'm done. So back to nature again. I feel like you are leading more of a simplistic lifestyle. I think it's quite a shock to people. I also feel like they're in some way, shape, or form commemorating the times when there was this theater, when there was this facade, this front. And I feel like people are able to see behind the mask, behind the costume. Maybe perhaps the backstage was left with all the repercussions of a stage play. Like we're talking like all the used makeup, and it's like grease based, and and the towels that was used to wipe things off, and maybe, you know, other masks that were like half done, or costumes that were cut, and scissors thrown about everywhere. And it's like people are starting to see the holes in the story, and they're starting to make sense out of everything. And it's like, no, you withdrew your energy, and you're no longer in participation to the demise of other people. You're allowing it to be a real thing. It's no longer a stage, I guess is my point. 9 minutes into it, you're welcome. Pile number 1. How's your absence felt? Their whole life has shifted. Their whole life has changed. Their show has gotten canceled, okay? So if they were on the poor is me train, and in the I'm the victim of everything, and, you know, nobody supports me, and it's like, okay, well, I feel like people are seeing behind the mask, behind the facade, behind the stage, and they're starting to see, well, look at all them towels that are dirty, and look at all that. What the heck? You spent all this time, I'm talking about them, pile number 1, on all these illusions, and yet why don't you put forward like a good foot forward and be part of the production, be part of the team, be part of the whatever, instead of like causing like illusions and everything else, however this applies to life. Now, pile number 1, these are definitely general readings. If you want your own personal reading catered just for you, I'm going to be offering those only for my channel subscribers. I don't even have like a private subscribing thing, but you guys would get the price point of $50. Okay, so that's going to be my new pricing for you if you want a reading, and that'll be a personal reading via video similar to this, but you will have to mention this channel, that way I know to give you the correct pricing, because my regular pricing is $89, just FYI. So how is your absence felt? 8 of Wands, and this one jumped out of the deck, okay, and this one landed perfectly right in center. It had to be known. It wanted to be known. It was made to be known. And so pile number 1, what's going on right here, and I'm really trying hard not to like rock back and forth, and because when I read as a reader, I'm squirrely and all over the place. So that's why, unfortunately, my voice goes in and out, and the headset did not help, by the way. But anyways, I digress. So 8 of Wands right here, things were happening really fast for them. With your absence, they feel like everything has slowed. Time has slowed. It's been a grinding, same thing, day after day after day. It's been painful. It's been burdensome. It's been one foot in front of the other. What I'm really feeling here, pile number 1, is that to them, it's feeling like it's I'm getting 10 of Wands energy, okay, where it's exhausting, and I can only put one foot in front of the other, and why get up anyways, and why make the bed anyways, and why comb my hair type of energy. So it's very possible that these people are plummeted into some sort of like a depression. But keep in mind that you are not responsible for other people's health, whether it's mental or otherwise, right? We have to be responsible as long as you're of age, legally. I love all the disclaimers we make on these things, but you are wise enough to know what you could be held responsible for and what not, okay? So how's your absence felt? Yeah, things are very difficult. It's like they can't get unstuck. They are going nowhere fast. They don't really know how to put things together properly. And it's like, well, why don't you just get back to basics, strip everything down, and then start at square one? Where do you start? At the very beginning. That's where you should start. Presumably when you write a play or stage, you have the beginning, middle, and an end. And like for me, I got squirrel brain that I can just talk about myself. I'm going to begin with like an inspiration, and then I'm going to have to fill in the blanks. But regardless, you still have the chapters in order to form a story, right? And I feel like these people are going to have to figure it out and create a current story. The reason why they have no momentum currently, they're not going anywhere, is because they are stuck in the past and unwilling to try to make a new narrative for themselves and start from a place of authenticity. I feel like with this matrix falling around our ears and things like that, included in that are like illusions and false things. Those things are not going to be supported any longer. So what else is going on here? Yeah, they feel like they lack support. Yeah, 3 of Wands. So pile number 1, how your absence felt is that they feel like they are on a waiting time, almost like on a timer, a waiting game. It's like, okay, well, is pile number 1 going to come back, or what's going on? I feel like they shield this. They make an effort to really shield their mind about it. And it's almost like it's so transparent because this figure is standing in the middle of nowhere with this big old hat. Like if they had not so big of a hat and not so dark, like attracting the mind right there. then it wouldn't be as apparent to begin with. So the more that they shield, they try to shield it like I'm waiting. It's just a waiting game, all I can do. The less that becomes doable, the less invisible they are in that waiting game. I feel like it's very transparent that all they can do is wait. But really, what they can do is take responsibility for their own lives and their whatever is falling around their ears. You know, it's our responsibility to pick things up and figure it out and keep it pushing forward. So what else do we have right here? Yeah, the Chariot. What did I tell you? This is all about movement, about lacking movement, about progress. This is also considered the seat of the soul. I like how she is sitting there. I love the cosmos in the background. And then we have the Sphinxes here, right? And it's almost like these two little decorations right here, to me, look like kisses. So it's almost like chef's kiss. It's like this lady appears very impatient with her arms akimbo. That's a word, by the way, I know for a fact. That is a word, Griselle, yes. But pile number one, it feels like there is an air of impatience about this waiting game, this thing, to where it's like, well, are you going to come back? Are you going to fix it? Are you going to join the troop once again? Because the show must go on, and it cannot go on without you. And I feel like they are in, I'm hearing stasis, like a period of pause. And I feel also that spirit is going to keep them in isolation or in this pause as long as they are wanting to just wait and do nothing about it and wanting to wait before they do any forward movement. They'll be locked in their brain. Okay. They'll be locked in their brain. The Eight of Wands is again about movement. And so I feel like this can have to do like an unraveling of the mind, of the mindset of how things need to be done and how to do things. So something about this person that I feel like it was very codependent or dependent on their image and things like that. I think that that has fallen away, and that is what we are currently seeing. Yeah, definitely what we're currently seeing. So let me know what you guys think. If you like this kind of reading, I would really appreciate you can like, share, comment, subscribe. If you can relate to it, that'd be great to let me know what your thoughts are. If not, that's perfectly fine. Hopefully, I will see you during your next reading. Much love. Until next time, namaste. Hi, friends. My name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 2, how has your absence felt? They miss your rapid-fire thought to action. In some ways, your fearlessness. They miss the peace that you lent them and the levity of spirit as well. Your unique perspective and artistic ways are some topics that they think about. If this is you, or if this sounds intriguing, go ahead and join me for your subsequent reading. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful or hopeful in this reading. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, I am so very grateful to have you. Thank you so very much for your support, your likes, your super chats, your donations. You can find the links below, by the way. That is just incredibly helpful to me. Thank you as a creator. So pile number 2, how is your absence felt? You have release. Wow. And you have power. I love this card. I don't care if this card comes out every reading. I would love it. So your absence has felt that you have just let go, I feel like, of everything, of this person, of this situation, whatever this is. We've got like these little dragonflies here, almost looking like fairies to me, by the way. I feel like you are traveling light, letting go of a lot of baggage, a lot of old stuff. You could be even like purging your home, purging your mind, purging your heart of situations and things that were not good for you. Situations perhaps that robbed you of your power, your autonomy, that perhaps it just wasn't healthy for whatever reason. And this could be including, of course, pile number 2, situations where other people have left. It's not always us doing the leaving, right? I feel like really in the end, it doesn't make a difference like who exits stage left. It's a matter of when it happens, there's always a massive change, just like that card that flipped under. But I digress. So pile number 2, I'm going to say that you, with all of your beautiful dark wings right here, I feel like this could be a situation where they're seeing you in your power, where they're seeing you fly above things. And there's such stark contrast because it's almost like, I almost feel like this person is not power hungry. They're like shielded, their mind is shielded, they're communing. I feel like with spirit, with the sun, with the rays, whatever, with nature. And I feel like it's a little bit of a nod to the Strength card in the Tarot, where they are definitely feeling themselves. They are owning their own autonomy, and they're allowing other people to have their own autonomy as well. So I feel like significant change there. I also feel like maybe you are someone that you're currently embracing your divine femininity, even though you have the ability to be a little bit hardcore, a little bit in your mask energy, right? Masculine energy, whether you're male, female, doesn't make a difference. You're in the era of receptivity. You're in the era of let go and let them, right? So, and I feel like this person, these people, in your absence, they feel like things are out of control. They feel like they have lost a good thing. They feel like when you were like open and vulnerable and like easy to read and all the chapters were open and it's a free for all and this is like a free library, nobody has to pay. You gave too much. You gave of yourself, and I feel like in a lot of ways you lost yourself. And how your absence is felt now is that you have withdrawn that energy or cut the cords or did some kind of ceremony. Whatever it is, I feel like you cut those ties, and it is deeply felt, because even if somebody leaves you energetically, they count on you mentally, emotionally, spiritually being there, even physically sometimes. And I think that they know that that is not the case. They were sadly mistaken when they thought that this would ruin you, ruin your reputation, or mentally, spiritually cause a break in you. Now, with the, I don't know if this is the sun. I feel like it's like a sundial as a crown. So I'm going to call it a sun. And then I see a partial moon right here. I definitely feel like your absence is felt now that they have to kind of glean and pinch and scroll and scrounge for every morsel of information about you. And I think that they are newly riveted on your energy, newly puzzled. Let's see if we can get a better, all this glare is making me unhappy. Yeah, better, kind of. So yeah, I definitely feel like, yeah, maybe you were under the glare, under the scrutiny of people, and you have removed yourself, or once again, you're just not within the vicinity to be the target of, right? And your absence is felt because it's like you have more power, more strength than you have ever had before. And the fact that she's got wings right here and they're dainty, and it's like, well, if we were to use them, can you really fly? I don't know. Some of these creatures can actually fly with tiny wings, which is kind of interesting to me. But I guess that's my 3D mentality kicking in more so than anything. I'm thinking about the gargoyles, right? Sometimes they got like really tiny itty bitty little wings and they can actually fly. But anyways, I definitely feel like you can communicate. I feel like there's almost even something shamanistic about you. Like you can really dive deep, like the Persephone energy, go into the depth of emotion and really help heal or bring things out or commune with that or allow things to be whatever it is to be. And you have this ability to rise, and it could be almost like, I feel like she's almost like rising. I feel like the loss of material wealth or whatever has not affected you in the way that they would have thought. And it could be that you didn't necessarily lose wealth or whatever. Maybe the house that you were living in together with a spouse or whatever got divided, right? And so the house had to be sold. You can't do the War of the Roses, so that's kind of frowned upon. If you know, you know. But the house had to be sold, or one of you kept it, or whatever. Regardless, there was some kind of a loss here to speak on. And I feel like perhaps this person thought that that would reflect on your outward, your exterior, your appearance, the way that you handle things, whatever. But instead, you became more powerful, more someone to contend with, and even more, because I see all this like monochrome and high contrast. It's almost like actually this jewelry that I made, I thought it was super fun, but like the dark flowers right here, right, with like a color pop. And I almost feel like it's that kind of an energy that you are portraying. It's like, you don't have to be all out, but however you wear your clothing and things like that definitely pop. I feel like you are definitely popping out now more than ever. And I think that it's like what you're doing, people consider it wild or a little bit like unconventional or risky for sure. Yeah, something about risk, having a risk factor. So how is your absence felt? Yeah. The change has them in mourning. They are floating against the wind, I feel. They're trying to shield their mind. There's a lot of looking toward the past, of course, looking at what was when it was once upon a time. I definitely feel like this person could be having headaches. They could be like really trying to cover, like, be careful with what it is that they speak on. Like, they don't want other people to listen or hear about it, whatever. And with this tree, it looks like it's being knocked over almost like by a wind. It feels very gusty winds or whatever. They could be undergoing some really big changes in their environment, right? Where it could be giving them a headache, a neck ache, having a induced problem on their health. And a lot of it, honestly, is because maybe perhaps they're not embodying their own power. They really felt like they wanted to control you versus really harness and assert their own power in order to really make their own lives work. Something about that here, okay? Now, this right here almost reminds me of a vulture. So I definitely feel like this person could have like vulture energy about them, which is like they want to they want to repurpose everything. They want to save and rescue all the things. They want to, it could be memories. It could be things you left behind, things they took with them, whatever. It could be relationships. They want to salvage all the relationships that you had, maybe that you guys had in common, or all of your close relationships. I had a family member who loves to do this, who they, want to friend all of my old friends or even, current friends or whatever. And they want to be close to them, thinking that that's going to make them close to me or whatever. But, and it's including like wearing your clothing, when they have their own clothing. And it's like they want to be you so bad sometimes. And I feel like there's just something very unhealthy about that, honestly. So I feel like there is depression going on. I feel like there's darkness going on, feeling like maybe they don't have strength within them. And what they're not realizing is all they have to do is look up and really rescue what they have from themselves and not try to draw from other people, maybe just yet. You can incorporate little bits and pieces of people. That's how we learn and whatever. But to embody a whole ass person is unhealthy. It is unhealthy. It's giving single white female, that movie. It's giving, I don't know who I am, let me try to be somebody else. It's giving also that Vale, that story wasn't even a story. That was that Vale who got, basically unalived on live. I think it was Instagram or TikTok. I can't remember which, but really it was, by her best friends, allegedly. And so there's an air of like jealousy because this person doesn't know who they are. And it's like, well, you need to go within and find out who you are. Okay. There's a lot of mist going on. I feel like they could have a lot of brain fog, a lot of dietary issues that are combined with this brain fog, and it perpetuates itself because they're not eating the right things, right? So I feel like that could be a thing right now. Let's see what else we have. Pile number 2, if you're indeed liking these kind of readings, do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. I would really be ever so grateful. If you've already done so, then thank you so very much. I am beyond the moon and back. So don't forget also to click your little notification bell where you get notified that I drop further readings. Pile number 2, how's your absence felt? It feels like you're going places and there's like a demand. Your absences felt like, well, they're demanding. They want to know energetically, like, where are you going? Where are you going with all that? What are you doing? Where have you been? Like, how dare you like leave? It's a feeling of leaving somebody behind. It almost feels like it's a wheelchair even though it's a chariot, right? So vibrationally, I feel like this person feels like they are stuck again. Maybe it's coming from pile number 1 and they can't move. And with the roots right here, this could be a genealogy reference, right? Or family tree, family line, family lineage, things like that. So I definitely feel like there is some form of repetition here on the family lineage. I feel like that they could have seen this played out in a different way in their own lives, maybe when they were growing up, and now it's being perpetuated in their lives as they are into adulthood and things like that. Okay, so something about cycles of being repeated, but they're externally focused. They're kind of like, well, they're busy pointing fingers and not looking at themselves, which really, I feel like society is kind of like that overall, unfortunately. So how has your absence felt? It's like they want to, these very cards came from pile number one. This one was reversed. So yeah, that definitely changed. Like they are determined. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to make a change. If you're not going to make a change, then this has to change and I'm going to change it. So I feel like instead of focusing on self and realizing like, hey, you know, there's a separation for a problem. If a business dissolves, if a partnership dissolves, if a friendship dissolves, whatever this is, there's a separation for a reason, but they're determined to make it work together. They're determined, regardless of the winds that are fighting against them or how it's uprooting them mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They're like determined to figure it out, make it work. So yeah, this person can be like demanding to contact you, demanding to speak with you. This is communication, like rapid fire communication, things like that. So I would not be surprised if this person like felt like, oh, I'm just going to show up on their doorstep kind of a thing. But what they don't realize is that they can't change energy. They can't change a mindset. Like you are well within your power right now, that regardless of, you know, who shows up, there's a thing called trespassing. There's a thing called, you know, law enforcement. There's a thing called like you will defend yourself until, okay? So I definitely feel like they're approaching things wrong. They are, instead of kind of working on self and overcoming and figuring out, well, why is it that I feel this absence? I feel like, you know, this isn't working for me or whatever, and everything is so cloudy. Why is it that the only laser focus they have is you? It's giving obsession, okay? That's the biggest thing, is it's definitely giving obsession with the number 1318 on camera right now. So it's almost like 1313. And, you know, 13 is the death card in traditional tarot, right? So pile number two, how has your absence felt? What is going on here? What else can you tell me? How is your absence felt? Because I feel like they go through like this depressive sort, and then they get on their soapbox, and then they're furious, and then they're demanding, and it's like entitlement. I feel nothing but entitlement here. Where they're not willing to work on real matters. They're working on, hey, this is due me. Like, this is due to me. You owe me that land. You owe me that property. You owe me that time, energy, devotion, emotion, whatever. And I feel like you've released titles, you've released ties, you have released labels. So whatever this is, I feel like somebody is still stuck in the past and trying to manifest that. And you have moved beyond that. And I don't think it'll ever be the same. Yep. And this was the energy. I definitely feel like if you even had a brief interest in pile number one, go visit that one as well. Because with my mind's eye, I was seeing the 10 of wands there. And I feel that. I feel like everything is a chore. It is exhausting. There's no excitement, nothing to look forward to. It's like difficult to wake up, to get the chores done, to look and do whatever needs to be done. It's like even though they're going downhill, it seems, it's like it appears an uphill battle. And maybe it's like they're going downhill, you know, could be that they're going downhill, that maybe their health is going downhill, their mental health is going downhill. And keep in mind, like whatever we set our mind to and how we set our mind to, right, has a big effect on our emotions, our bodies, our mental health, our state of mind, and that affects everything else. This person, I just got like a stabbing wound on my crown chakra, the right side. So they could be having like stabbing headaches. Even they could be having like migraines. Yeah, that's for somebody. But anyways, maybe somebody has a cane, they walk with a cane, they have a staff, something like that. But the 10 of wands, it's very difficult to navigate this, and they're trying to gain wisdom, but they're trying to gain wisdom on how to infiltrate, how to call you to the mat and say, hey, this isn't right, I want that contract back. Or, hey, we agreed on this divorce and I signed papers, but that's not, I didn't really understand that that's what that meant, that our assets would be split in half, or that you're going to have full custody and I'm not gonna, and I signed the piece of paper stating so, and I initialed it right there too. They're trying to call to the mat. It's like there was an injustice done, or there was a sleight of hand, or there was something, when in reality, it's like, no, maybe perhaps you perpetuated this cycle or this thing, and it wound up ending. And it's like they're not looking at the fact that they have done the same things, put themselves first in the past. They've, you know, really serve to find their own power and navigate their own life. And so now it's like a demand. Now it's like, well, I demand that you spend time with me. I demand that you recreate that bond with me. And it's got to be, and it's like, well, those times have ended. So the more that person fights to latch onto the past and what was, and not really reach an understanding of why things dissolved, why things transpired, what part did they play, nothing is going to go well until they get those things addressed. And that's really the trick to that pile number 2, is that that's what's going to give them their power, their autonomy, their self-esteem, and it's going to help them to really rise again, interestingly enough. So yeah, look, 9 of Cups. That will give them their wish fulfillment, oddly enough. Yeah, that was the bottom of the deck. I wasn't planning on doing that, but here we are doing the things. Yeah. So that's all I have for you right now. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3. How has your absence felt? It appears that you are very multicultural, very adventuresome, or at least that's how your absence is felt. Through you, they live vicariously, and you integrate culture, travel, ideas, calligraphy, a mixture of class and international vibes for. They wonder what kind of adventure you're up to right now. If this sounds like you, join me for your reading. Welcome, welcome. Pile number 3. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful, or at the very least, something that's encouraging. And for those of you guys who are indeed my repeat offenders, I am super grateful to have you. Thank you so much for your love, your support, all of your comments, your donations, your super chats. I am so grateful. If you're willing to donate to the channel, I will leave that in the description box below. I should also pin that into the section of the comments. So how is your absence felt? Pile number 3. We have the Page of Wands and the 8 of Cups. Wow. It's interesting because I felt a lighter energy coming from this. The other ones felt more like life shifts or monumental things. Not that this isn't important, but I feel like your absences felt almost like the Page of Wands. It's like they have a desire for you, but they walked away. They have a desire, if this is romantic or not, something about them walking away. Excuse me. So the Page of Wands, yeah, tells me a desire. It's an excitement. It's almost like with you, along with that went a desire that was, I don't want to say natural, but whatever it was that they wanted on the outside, really now the focus is on simply wanting to be with you, to want to be close to you and things like that. And this can indicate, of course, like sexual intimacy. So if this is relationship based, which it kind of feels like it is, it feels like maybe they're missing the smexy time with you, right? 8 of Cups is like they have to walk away. Your absence is felt that you walked away even perhaps, and that they're wondering if you're looking over your shoulder, if you're kind of wondering, hey, maybe I should come back, find my 9th cup here. They're like, yeah, find it because I got this one. Just kidding. So it's a little bit like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to leave? Are you sure it's the end? Are you sure that it's the end of us? Whatever that means. So if this is a business partner, business proposition, it's definitely a time where they are wondering and looking towards you for any clue, any hint in any way, shape, and form. If you repost, like, I don't know, like pictures they used to do with them, or trips that used to go with them, or something that, or music, something, they're looking for any clue, a smoke signal from you that you would want to come back to this partnership. They're looking for any sign. Okay. Interesting. So they're definitely looking at you with some longing, but I feel like it's almost just kind of, it's not mature. It doesn't feel mature. All right. How's your absence felt? This one came out in literally all the reads. What are you doing here? Okay. 8 of Wands. I'm going to take it as a reverse, but just so we can look at this guy. So the 8 of Wands is all about travel, rapid communication. I feel like because it came on the upside down, this, I heard this information is stalled. I meant this communication is stalled. It's almost like It's gone into the abyss. There's no communication. It's almost like they're trying to communicate into the abyss. That would make sense. And they're trying to hear if they have an echo of you. It's almost like any sign, any blip, trying to put their finger into pulse. They lift their finger and put it up in the air and see which way the wind is blowing, right? That's old school. But I definitely feel like this person is not directly asking you, hey, I miss you or whatever, or I miss the times we had with you, or maybe this was like a hookup situation. We're definitely in a hookup culture. I feel like, unfortunately, but I'm going to say that maybe they're thinking, well, hey, do you want to hook up or anything like that? So I feel like they're looking for any sign, music, or even at nighttime, if you're having dreams about them, they're having dreams about you. I feel like it's all about the subtleties of wanting to communicate with you, like their desire, their passion, but they're not willing to take a risk. They're not willing to really lift the finger or do anything about it. Instead, they're willing to kind of walk away because they're not wanting to risk rejection, is what I'm hearing, actually. So interesting, cowardly, I would say, but that's just my opinion. Pile number 3, how has your absence felt? If you're liking these kind of readings, please do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you've already done so, then yay, thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Also, don't forget to click your little notification bell where you get notified that I drop further readings. So pile number 3, how is your absence felt? Ancestors. Well, okay. And celebration. Wow, your ancestors, I feel like your absence is felt. Maybe you had a deep connection to your ancestors and your lineage, and they were missing that. It's almost like you felt like you were part of them, or they're part of you some way, somehow. This could be family, but I feel like this is more romantic. And this one is not just like a casual romance, but I feel like they didn't treat it with a love and respect. This could have been in and out energy, night energy that I think flipped over earlier during the shuffle. So this person, these people, could have been of a mindset of let's hit it and quit it, not here to stay, but here for today, that kind of a thing. So with the 8 of Cups and the celebration right here, it's almost like, hey, I miss you. I want to catch a little glimpse of you. If you give me the smallest amount of encouragement, then I want to come back and say, hey, would you like to share a cup of champagne, a glass of champagne, a glass of wine, whatever it is? Would you like to attend this celebration? Do you want to be my +1 during my work event, my work party, if they still use? I don't know. So whatever this is, I definitely feel like they want things to transform. And they're looking for any sign from you if like you'll change your mind. Okay, problem with that is that I don't think that this person has really changed much. That's how it's feeling to me. Even though they know deep down that there's a reason why they continue seeking you energetically, mentally, spiritually, it's almost like they can't really get their mind away from you. They're being prevented from moving forward in any connection with you. And maybe because you blocked them, they blocked you, it doesn't really make a difference. It's like there are blockages in this communication, and it's for a reason. Then we have the 8 and the 8 right on the board right here. You could be seeing 8-8, 8-8-8. This has to do with cycles. I feel like a lot of times it has to do with mental cycles as well. So you want to watch for that, but it could have to do with cycles, about like you went through cycles. If they're like, oh, hey, I'm here. Don't you want me? And they could be sexy, they could be fine, they could be really, all the things. But they have no staying power, no lasting power. Sorry. Grisel's mind gets in the gutter like quickly. And let's reel it back in. Yes, thank you. And I'm just saying that this could have been like a quick thing to where they were really even selfish in bed. And they, got theirs and they just didn't perform well. It was just kind of like, well, what about me? That kind of a thing. And it was just like the selfishness and the childish behavior and all those things stack up against them. And I think it's just like pointless really to entertain somebody like that. But I digress. So the 8 of Cups, yeah, it's like you are walking away and they want to know, well, we've separated or we parted or we only come together and join together when there are parties or special occasions, special events. You've always been my +1. You've always been my quote date, that sort of thing. It's like, hey, are you up for it? Are you still up for grabs? Are you free? And it's like, wait, so you can offer me what? Like little staying power, a fixation on whatever you desire. like maybe they want arm candy. Maybe you present well. Maybe you are the steady Eddie. Maybe you are the beard, right? If they are in a gay relationship and they don't want their family to know about it. They're like, oh, this is, Teresa, this is my, significant other that always comes to the party, the work parties, whatever. I mean, it could be whatever here, but it's just not enough. There's no sustainability. There have to be like massive changes here in order for you to not continue walking away. That's what it feels like. It's almost like, I don't know. It's like this very youthful, and I don't say that in a good way. I feel like it's just childish. I feel like this person could be older, right? With the Eight of Cups, there's a mastery there. It's like, I fought long and hard. I've dealt with emotions. I've really thought about things. Whatever. But she's even covering up her heart chakra. And this person's like, hey, wink, wink. So the energy is not the same. Yeah. So how's your energy being felt at this point in time? How's your absence felt? And surrender, that you've changed a lot and that you're intriguing. Maybe you could be doing mudras with your hands, right? In order to call forward like a certain amount of energy or specific energy. But I feel like you could be really, you could be vibing with spirit, with the divine. And I feel like your absence is felt because they're curious. Yeah, they want to write a letter to you. They want to write an email, a text, however. And however they communicate. But they realize that you've made some massive changes and they don't really know how to navigate that. Now, dragonflies are interesting little creatures because apparently like when they die, their little colorful tail, I guess falls off or disappears or something. I don't know. To me, that was kind of fascinating. But I feel it's almost like they don't have access to your tail anymore. Sorry. Yeah, but they definitely want to kind of swoop in and, talk about, oh, hey, let's go to this party together. Be my plus one, have a drink, whatever, keep it cash, which is not a big deal within itself. But it's like, hey, are you like, we've not moved beyond this. It's been like 8 years, 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever. And you're still on the same thing. Like, aren't you bored with that? Haven't you matured beyond that? And while I feel like you feel like, Smex is great and it's a beautiful thing and stuff, maybe you're like, well, my time clock is ticking. Maybe you want to have a family, you want to have baby, children, whatever, home. Or maybe perhaps you're like, this is outweighed its fun. And, well, I don't mind, having the occasional fun here and there. It's ceased to be fun for me. And I'm pursuing my 9th cup. And so energetically, it feels like they don't have any hope of reeling you back. But they're not in a place where they can even move beyond that because intellectually they realize, this is why it won't work or that you've moved on. Emotionally, they are stuck in child's play. Okay. Let's just call it for what it is. Yeah. In a transition. So, wow. Pile number 3, you've definitely made a transition. So how's your absence felt is that everything is different. Things are different. They know it's different. You walk through a portal of sorts. And well, this person doesn't really understand or know what this portal means or what awaits on either side. I feel like they kind of hold back with a little bit of longing, wishing that things were the way they were, right? When things were like easy and free and whatever. And it's like, that's great, but you're not 20 anymore or 19 anymore, or you're not, you're just not in that stage anymore. You've moved beyond it. And so with this transition, I feel like they've got to realize that what they're feeling right now is a feeling, and feelings don't equal truth necessarily. I even see like a snowflake right here. So I feel like they could be very sensitive to criticism. They could be, how people call people a snowflake. And this seems like even a figure back here. So it's almost like this person like stalks or lurks or looks, but it seems very obvious and apparent that you have moved on, that things are really different for you, that you have a lot of wisdom on your shoulder, that you are listening to the wisdom of spirit, of your higher self, of, God, I don't know, whoever. And they're willing, and I heard the word Ganesha. And so I feel like this person can even pepper some knowledge around you in order to feel like relatable, or in order to feel like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, things like that, in order to kind of reel your interest back. But it's like you mentioned Ganesha, but the Ganesha shatters obstacles, or, it's like it helps you to get through to the other side and there's more to it, but I feel like they would just sprinkle like a word or two and then remain silent, not have any knowledge behind it, and just do it for the strict purpose of manipulating to see if they can get you on that page. And that page is what? The Page of Wands. Need I say more? Nay, nay. So pile number 3, that is what I have for thee. Let me know what you guys think about this. I don't like it for you. I would say red flag all the way. Stay away, friends, but it is definitely your call. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.